yo brahmanam vidadhati purvam yo vai vedanscha prahinoti tasmai tamha devam atma buddhi prakasham mumukshurvai sharanamaham prapadye. Today we are going to start part 3, Bhruguvalli, Bhrugu's enlightenment, chapter 1. See, this is a very important portion of Taittiriya Upanishad. So next 2 classes will be on this, and you'll have a lot to grasp in this, because it is actually giving you a technique for self-knowledge. It is a practical technique in the form of a conversation between father and son. So this is chanted also very nicely. So we will also learn the chanting. You just repeat after me. Om Sahana Vavatu, Om Sahana Vavatu, Sahano Bhunattu, Sahano Bhunattu, Sahaviryam Karavavahai, Sahaviryam Karavavahai, Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai, Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Bhruguvai Varunihi, Bhruguvai Varunihi. Varunam Pitaram Upasasara, Varunam Pitaram Upasasara. Adhihi Bhagavo Brahmeti, Adhihi Bhagavo Brahmeti. Tasmadetat provacha, Tasmadetat provacha. Annam pranam chakshu shrotram manovachamiti, Annam pranam chakshu shrotram manovachamiti. Tagam hovacha, Tagam hovacha. Yato va imani bhutani jayante, Yato va imani bhutani jayante. Yena jatani jivanti, Yena jatani jivanti. Yat prayantyabhisamvishanti, Yat prayantyabhisamvishanti. Tad vijignyasasva, Tad vijignyasasva. Tad brahmeti, Tad brahmeti. Satapotapyata, Satapotapyata. Satapastaptva, Satapastaptva. Iti prathamo anuvakaha. Iti prathamo anuvakaha. So you know the meaning of the Shanti mantra, which we have been doing, Sahana Vavatu. So you see, after that prayer, they are beginning this portion, what is called Bhruguvalli. Now this is a very important portion because it is actually a Vidya. It's a meditation technique, a technique of inquiry cum meditation towards self-knowledge. It is called Bhargavi Varuni Vidya. What is a Vidya? It is a kind of meditation. It is a paradigm for the knowledge of Brahman. So this is a huge Vidya from this Taittiriya Upanishad. And it is in the form of a conversation between a father and son. So we can easily grasp what they are talking about. Just like how you have in Chandogya Upanishad between Uddalaka and Shvetaketu. Like that here you have between Varun Rishi and his son Varuni or Bhrigu. His name is Bhrigu. That's why this is called Bhruguvalli. Don't imagine that mythological Bhrigu Rishi, okay? This is the name of another Rishi here, Bhrigu. So between Varuna and Bhrigu, this is the conversation. Now what is it about? This Bhrigu is a young man And he is the son of Varuna, who is a great rishi. So he is constantly hearing about Brahma Vidya, about the knowledge of Brahman. He sees that in the group of sages who come to his father, they are constantly discussing these matters. The nature of Brahman, the nature of the Atman, the relation between the two, how to get the knowledge of Brahman. So now he is very curious and he wants to know. He wants to know. But there is only one way of knowing. We learnt it in the last chapter. What is the way of knowing? Self-inquiry and meditation. You have to conduct the first person research. So parame vyoman pratisthita. We did that. So it is already established in your heart. And your own intellect will unravel it for you if there is a certain level of inquiry and meditation. Many people think, why just self-inquiry? Won't it do? See, our usual knowledge systems are about inquiry and investigation, isn't it? I want to know something in physics. I inquire about it and I know it. It is because it is vritti jnana. It is knowledge born of thinking. Is this knowledge born of thinking? Thinking is preliminary in this. Shravan, Manan. But Nididhyasan. That's the third step here. You have to meditate on it. Because it is not an object of your perception. So your instrumentation has to be fine-tuned to grasp this. And the method is turning it inward. So meditation. So you require both inquiry and meditation. There are differing views, some people will say, one school of thought actually, the Vivarna school holds that most important is Shravan. Only through the Vedanta Vakyas, especially the Mahavakyas, you can get that knowledge. There's another school called the Bhamati school, which will insist on meditation. But you require both. Because this truth is very subtle. To grasp it, you require an extremely steady mind. So for that, you require meditation. Meditation is meant to fine-tune the instrument of perception. Not to get the truth itself, because the truth is already present. You are not manufacturing a state of consciousness. No. The Atman is already present. It has been covered up by a deluded intellect. So you are removing the obstacles to that knowledge. That's why meditation. You should remember all this fine-tuning is only for your instrumentation, not to manufacture the object. Here, who is the object? The subject. Isn't it? The object of your knowledge is you, your I, the real I. So when this is the kind of knowledge you want, this is the aim, then obviously you have to fine-tune the instruments of perception. That is why Shravan, Manan, Nididhyasan. Now you see, this conversation begins with inquiry. First, see this original inquiry, without that you actually can't enter Vedanta. It is not to be satisfied with somebody's thoughts. I want to know for myself. Then only you will be prepared to take up that first person research. If it's not my inquiry, if I am not wanting to investigate, I will not know it. You can't borrow this knowledge. Okay, the Upanishad told you, you are the Atman. What difference does it make to you? I must know I am the Atman, isn't it? So for this, you begin with inquiry, see. So this is what this Rishi does. Bhrigu. Bhrigu vai Varunihi, which means Bhrigu, the well-known son of Varuna, approached his father Varuna with the formal request, "O revered sir, teach me Brahman." Varunam pitaram upasasara adhihi bhagavo brahmeti. Teach me about Brahman. Tasmad etat provacha. To him, Varuna said, all of these, food, vital force, eye, ear, mind, speech, these are all very positive aids to the knowledge of Brahman. Aids. And then crave to know well that Brahman from which all these beings take birth, that by which they live after being born, and that towards which they move and into which they merge. That is Brahman. Yato va imani bhutani jayante, yena jatani jivanti, yena prayatya abhisamvishanti iti. Everything emerges from that, lives in that, and goes back to that, dissolves into that. So we are only in a transitory period of manifestation. What you are calling my personality is just a small manifestation, a pop-up. You pop up and pop out. So, but we think it's big, it's a big thing, you know. How important. See, the ego does all this. So, you have come out of Brahman, you live in Brahman, and you go back into Brahman. Now, tat vijijñāsasva. So now you know the source of your being. Oh my son, make it a real investigation, he is telling his son. Tad brahmeti. Know that to be your origin, Brahman. Sa tapo tapyata. And you have to know it through tapasya. So Bhrigu practiced concentration. Sa tapas taptva. See, tap dhatu, it actually means to heat up. To heat up what?
The energy.
What is heat fundamentally? Tell me. Energy. Yes. So it is about your energy. Tapasya is about transforming your energy from one level to another level. Usually the energy is manifesting as sense activity and physical sensations and the movement of the motor organs. Sense activity of your senses, they are called jnanendriyas, and sensation in your physical system and the motor movement, your hands and feet and everything. This much you know, but this level of energy has to be transmuted into intuition, by which you will know the nature of the self. So the first area of transmutation is let it become mental and intellectual energy, by which you can think sharply and clearly, so you can take up this investigation. Next, it should transcend even the intellect. It should touch awareness by a process of intuition. So without this transmutation of energy, you will not perceive Brahman. You will not know Brahman. So tapasya. Tapas has to do with your vital energies. One of its highest manifestations is your thought process. One of the highest manifestations of your vital energy is your thought. So that thought will lead you to Brahman only when your energy is transmuted, transformed into something higher. So this is called tapasya. That is why you see in the last chapter you saw the insistence was on what? Swadhyaya pravachanabhyam na pramaditavyam. Don't ignore learning and teaching. Your mental life should involve all this. Otherwise, you know how people live nowadays, a little bit of ritual in the morning bus. Whole day after that, they are happy to be away from God. Happy to be away from any kind of investigation or pursuing this knowledge. If that perseverance is not there, you will not get it. So keep your mind active along this front. And that is why you must transform your energies through tapasya. You know, that is why you must understand the mechanism of energy in your system. I want to control mind. It's not that easy. Try it and see how many seconds you can control your mind. If you learn to transform your vital energy and hold it at a particular level, your mind will get subdued. Your thoughts will be pure. That's why these were the fundamentals of spiritual living, you know. In the Vedic age, They insisted on so many of these, we call it Yam Niyam in yoga and we call it the Sadhan Chatushtai in Vedanta. The preliminaries. It's nothing about transforming your vital energy so that Pran Shakti within you functions at a particular level. It stays in the heart. This is important for this knowledge. Otherwise, you will only be in tamas, you won't know it. And in that state, you can't take up this inquiry. It will be fruitless. Just a passing thought, I wonder who I am. Jeevan ka maksad kya hai? Bas, ho gaya. Next, you are indulging in all sorts of things. This form of inquiry is not going to take you anywhere. Inquiry means one-pointed investigation and investment of vital energy into the highest. For that, you must learn to keep prana in the heart. That is tapasya. That our pranic energy is flowing in all centers. A little bit of raising of the pranic energy to the heart is preliminary to this inquiry. So the normal rushing out of mind and constantly flitting from object to object, this will stop. Sukhatyago tapo nityam. The giving up of this low kind of pleasure is tapas. It will keep your mind in the restless mode, When the energy is traversing along lower planes, it keeps your mind restless and biting at this, biting at that, biting at that. Like that, flitting. So this mind cannot do this level of investigation. So first is tapasya. You transform your energies in such a way the mind remains one-pointed, riveted to this goal. Then the investigation is possible. So, sa tapo tapyata. Besides, you see, the object of your investigation is not outside of you. It is the self within you. So the mind has to turn inward. If it is constantly flitting on objects, how will it do that? Tell me. So steadiness of mind. You see, you can recognize a yogi by seeing his face. The eyes are very steady. The mind is very steady. The speech is, you will fall for it. Because the mind is so steady. And he will do no unnecessary talking, unnecessary thinking. Because he is focused. Without this level of focus, this is impossible. It is not somebody's philosophy that you are following. You are adopting a research technique. And for that to work, this fundamental tapasya is required. So Bhrigu went for tapasya. This is what the first paragraph tells us. Sa tapo tapyata, sa tapas taptva. Then what happened as a result? He came to an understanding as a result of his tapasya. For some time he went into tapasya. He understood how his mechanism works. And he thought of something. What did he think about? Annam brahmeti vyajanat. Annadeva khal vimani bhutani jayante. Vimani bhutani jayante. Annena jatani jivanti. Annena jatani jivanti. Annam prayantyabhisamvishanti ti. Annam prayantyabhisamvishanti ti. Tadvijnaya punareva varunam pitaramupasasara. Punareva varunam pitaramupasasara. Adhihi bhagavo brahmeti. Adhihi bhagavo brahmeti. Tagam hovacha. Tagam hovacha. Tapasa brahma vijijñāsasva. Tapasa brahma vijijñāsasva. tapo brahmeti satapotapyata satapastaptva iti dvitiyo anuvakaha. So now the thought came to Bhrigu, annam brahmeti vyajanat. This annam here means annamay kosh. This, now what is his enquiry? What is Brahman? So he thought, see, this body is verily me. Because I am functioning through it. Annamay kosh. This is me. And annadeva khalvimani bhutani jayante. It is from food that everything is created, everything manifests forth. In food it lives, in food it merges back again. So he comes back to his father, Punareva Varunam Pitaram Upasasara, and he said, I think I know who I am. It is this body. Then the father said, Tapasa Brahma Vijignyasasva. Go back to your tapasya. Now tell me, why are you not the body? See, the whole world thinks it is the body. And if you go and tell them, no, you are not the body, they say, we don't want to listen to you. Why?
It's a degenerated matter, and I can't be the degenerated matter.
It's a limited gadget object to us.
It is an object of your perception, most of all. See, you can study your body. Medical science, you are studying your body. That itself, doesn't it mean that I am something, the I is separate from the body? Otherwise, how I can study it? See, this is Drigdrishya Vivek. If I can see something as an object, I am separate from it. The Drik is different from the Drishya. Isn't it? The seer is different from the seen. So, fundamentally, the body is an object of my perception and study. So I cannot be the body. And also body is given to, as she said, so much change. Degenerating every day. How can I be something which is so changing? Think of yourself from...
And finally the body does not stay with us also. A time comes when we have to give up.
So body is so temporary. How can I be the body? It is given to vikar. It is given to rog. It is given to so many changes. And the way it transforms in every stage of your life.
3 kilos to 60 kilos.
Yes, 3 kilos to 60 kilos. And every 15 days the cells are changing. So when it's given to so much change, how can it be the I? So obviously you are not the body. You are that which can observe the body. Now you have to find out what that I is. So you go back to your tapasya. Who's saying this? Varun Rishi is telling his son Bhrigu. Go back to your tapasya. So again Bhrigu went back to his tapasya and did a lot of meditation again and then came back. See, this is the normal perception. In fact, there are the materialistic philosophy, a whole lot of philosophy subscribe to this level of understanding. Like Bhrigu, first time. So he was a materialist at this point of time. See, I am the body, nothing more. The Charvaks were same type. Their philosophy was take care of the body, that's all. Who knows whether there's a soul or not? Even mind, don't bother too much. Take care of the body. Yavat jivet sukham jivet. Rinam kritva ghritam pibet. That was their philosophy, which means go into debt but drink ghee.
Yes.
And live well. Because you are the body. See, the more you have a philosophy like this, the more the culture and civilization you will create will be body-based. Body-based. Everything for the body. And after death, no, nobody knows what is there. No, it's not that nobody knows. Because in your own thinking, see, a mere body-based life will bore you to hell, I'm telling you. After some time, you won't be able to bear it. You know, the people who suffer from very strong depression, If your energies are allowed to circulate only in the lower aspects of your being, which means only body consciousness prevails, the mind will go into a state of non-acceptance after some time. Bored, frustrated, not liking anything. So this is not just the mental state, even your understanding will become very narrow. Then what to do next? So you're constantly jumping from experience to experience. Just because your understanding of yourself is only body-based. So then now Bhrigu goes back. He gets a shock from his father. Go back to your tapasya. Goes back and does more meditation, and then he understands something more. He understands that he is not the body, but he is his vital energies. The Pran Shakti. So you see, the next mantra is Prano Brahmeti Vyajanat Pranadyeva Khalvimani Bhutani Jayante Vimani Bhutani Jayante Pranena Jatani Jivanti Pranam Prayantyabhisamvishanti Tadvignaya Punareva Varunam Pitaramupasasara Adhihi Bhagavo Brahmeti Tagam Hovacha Tapasa Brahma Vijijñāsasva Tapo Brahmeti Satapotapyata Satapastaptva Iti Tritiyo Anuvakaha. So now Bhrigu came and told his father, told Varun Rishi, I think I know who I am. I am the vitality within me. I am the Pran Shakti. And his father said, oh, you go back to your tapasya. Now you have to tell me why you are not the Pran.
That also is an object. I'm able to identify.
I can change it.
You can change it. You can track it in your system. You can reverse it. It is given to change. And it is an object of my perception. Pranayama itself will tell you that you can change the way of prana in your system. Prana is not just breath, remember. Breath is one manifestation of prana. Prana means your entire vitality. It includes the entire energy in your system. And its highest manifestations are thought, your intelligence. All these are manifestations of prana, starting from breath to the energy you feel in your system, to your emotion, your will, your thought. All these are manifestations of prana. Your entire energy. So he thinks, I am that. And the father says, no, you're not that even. Go back to your tapasya. Which means he's saying, I'm the pranamaya kosh. See, so actually this is pancha kosha vichara. You are learning the 5 koshas and discerning through them, discriminating through them to the essence of your being. You are not any of these. You are wearing these. You are wearing the pranamaya kosh. It is yours, no doubt. Your breath is yours. Your thoughts are yours. They are not you. Are you getting it? Because they are objects of your perception. They are given to change. Yeah, they are given. You can change the direction of your pran. It's in your hands. So you can't be that. It's an instrument in your hands. So go back to your tapasya, my son. So Bhrigu had to go back to his tapasya. See, now in the modern world, many people have arrived at this. So actually, see, the Upanishads are so instructive. At all stages of our development, they will be there like a mother. Vedas are like a mother. They will show you which direction you should go. So many people actually believe this, that the materialists believe I am the body, and those who are starting yoga believe I am the Pran Shakti. I am the energy. In fact, most scientists would tell you energy is all that there is. There is external energy and there is internal energy. You have heard of dark matter and dark energy today, no? When you don't know what exactly it is dark matter and dark energy. Because the volume of the universe is far more than what you can physically find. So obviously there is something which we have not found yet, but which is contributing to the entire volume of the universe. So you call it dark matter and dark energy. So all manifestation is energy. This is the understanding. But this Upanishad is telling us, you are not even that energy. The energy is yours. You are wearing it, carrying it, but you are not the energy. Find out who you are. So again, poor Bhrigu goes back to his tapasya. Now he gets a real, an awakening. And he comes back to his father after some time. See, only with tapasya he is getting all these ideas. Comes back and says, now I know who I am. Mano Brahmeti Vyajanat. I am the mind. So come on. Mano Brahmeti Vyajanat.
Mano Brahmeti Vyajanat.
Manaso heva khal vimani bhutani jayante.
Manaso heva khal vimani bhutani jayante.
Manasa jatani jivanti.
Manasa jatani jivanti.
Mana prayantyabhisamvishanti.
Mana prayantyabhisamvishanti.
Tad vignaya.
Tad vignaya.
Punareva varunam pitaramupasasara.
Punareva varunam pitaramupasasara.
Adhihi bhagavo brahmeti.
Adhihi bhagavo brahmeti.
Tagum hovacha.
Tagum hovacha.
Tapasa brahma vijijñāsasva.
Tapasa brahma vijijñāsasva.
Tapo brahmeti.
Tapo brahmeti.
Satapo tapyata.
Satapo tapyata.
Satapastaptva.
Satapastaptva.
Iti chaturtho anuvakaha.
Iti chaturtho anuvakaha.
So now Bhrigu comes to his father and says, I am the mind. See, any one of us would say this, isn't it? I am my mind. I am the thoughts in my mind. So now this is the stand of philosophers and scientists and all the intellectuals. I am the mind. But Varun Rishi says, no, my son. You are not the mind. Tell me why you are not the mind?
Because you can watch your mind as an object.
You can watch your mind.
There are the contents of the mind.
You know the contents of your mind.
And it keeps changing also.
And it keeps changing. See, you are giving me all the answers. All that Bhrigu needs to know, you're telling me. Now, tell me who is it that knows the mind? How do you know the mind?
Awareness.
There is some dimension to your being which can stay apart from your mind. And by choice even get mixed up. By choice, not by default. That aspect of that dimension of your being is of the nature of awareness. See, this is the beauty of the conscious experience, I can think of something, but I can become conscious of what I thought. Your robots cannot do that.
No.
Yeah, that's the fundamental difference. They can take up your mechanical jobs. They can't think for themselves. They go only by their programming. They have no self-awareness. But because I am a conscious entity, I can think about my thoughts and I can change them. I can become aware of them, change them, do whatever I want with them. So I am not programmed. Are you getting it? So you see, the importance of your consciousness comes in here when you try to understand your mind. That's why, these mind sciences, philosophy of mind, which means psychological sciences, and consciousness studies overlap. That is why, to a large extent in Western philosophy, it is studied similarly. The content of the mind is considered consciousness in Western philosophy. But in Indian philosophical systems, because of the Upanishads, the clear demarcation is made, consciousness is different from mind. What is proof? You can watch your mind. That's the fundamental experience of the human being, isn't it? Today morning I thought of something. I realize now I thought of that thing. If I was the thought, I wouldn't realize this. Isn't it? Not just that much. You are capable of meta-thinking, metacognition. What does that mean? Thinking about thinking. You can think about your thoughts, the thoughts you thought, and you can reverse them. You can change them. You are capable of this. Now, unless you were apart from the thought mechanism, how would you become capable of this? So your conscious mind is more than mere thought, more than mere vritti. What is it then? So Varun is telling now, Bhrigu, go back to your tapasya. You must find out for yourself. You are not even the mind. Mind is given to enormous change. Mind is an object of your perception because you can know your thoughts and you can change them. So who is it who perceives the thought? Find this out. So you see, he is driving him towards analyzing what we today call conscious experience. So he is driving him towards the signs of consciousness. Yes? So now we'll see what Bhrigu does. So Bhrigu goes back to his tapasya, and comes after some time and says, now I have got it. I've got it. Who sees the mind? The intellect. So, Vijnanam Brahmeti Vyajanat.
Vijnanam Brahmeti Vyajanat.
Vijnanadeva Khal Vimani Bhutani Jayante. Vimani Bhutani Jayante. Vijnanena Jatani Jivanti. Vijnanam Prayantyabhisamvishanti. Prayantyabhisamvishanti. Tad Vijnaya. Punareva Varunam Pitaramupasasara. Adhihi Bhagavo Brahmeti. Tadum hovacha. Tapasa Brahma Vijijñāsasva. Tapo Brahmeti. Satapotapyata. Satapastaptva. Iti panchamo anuvakaha. So now Bhrigu comes and tells his father, I now know who I am. I am the intellect that sees the mind function. I am not the mind. I am the intellect. Now who would not say I am not the intellect? Who would say that? Anybody would say I am my buddhi, isn't it? See, this is the natural state of all philosophers, thinkers, intellectuals, scientists. They will say, I am my intelligence. What do you mean by saying you're not even your intelligence? I am my intellect, because who sees the thought process in my mind? My intellect, the buddhi. So he comes and says the same thing. I am this intelligence within me, the intellect, which is seeing the presence or absence of thought, which is considering the thought process and maybe changing it, reforming it, fine-tuning it. So I am the intellect. And still Varun says no. Why?
Intellect also can be increased with age.
There's also an
It can be honed.
seen.
Yeah.
Intellect,
I'm aware of my
intellect
intellect.
also fluctuates, the
It
level
can
of
be lost.
intelligence change.
Yes.
Use it to grasp.
You know how you can change your intelligence? If you lead a tamasic life, your intelligence will go down. Have you seen?
Yes.
The sharpness will go down. So, and if you lead a very sattvic life, somewhere you are deeply aware and so very intelligent. Have you noticed this? So you have the capacity to hone your intelligence. Now, who has this capacity?
Consciousness.
Some dimension within you can change the workings of your intelligence, can see your intellect for what it is.
Even when we get a shock or something, our intelligence doesn't work at all.
Yes, there are times in life when your intelligence is paralyzed, and yet you are there. You are seeing the absence of anything in your mind. And the intelligence itself can change over a period of time. Intellect. So the understanding of intelligence is very, very, very important in Indian philosophy. You know what is intelligence according to our philosophy? It is one of the most precious instruments in your hands, in the hands of the Atman. And its nature is, the more aware you are, the more intelligent you will be. That is its nature. Not the more you by heart, the more memory you have. You are not more intelligent by memory. You are intelligent by the influx of awareness. So if that awareness, if there is no influx into the conscious mind, if you are not deeply conscious, you are not intelligent.
Right.
This is the understanding of intelligence due to the Upanishads in Indian philosophy. I had a whole talk on this actually in the US. Understanding intelligence. Because you must understand this. If memory was intelligence, your smartphone is smarter than you. Am I right?
Yes.
It has more memory. It is carrying enormous memory. So if memory was intelligence, it is smarter than you, more intelligent than you. And your artificial intelligence systems are far smarter than you. But memory is not intelligence. Why? You will reproduce from memory whatever you have given importance to. All the emotional experiences of life are all in your memory. So memory is not intelligence, but awareness is intelligence. That light, the more it streams into your intelligence, the more luminous your intellect will become. And know things just like that, sharply, even without a thought process. When you understand and know without deliberation, that process is called intuition. When you understand and know without deliberation, that process is called intuition. It is done by the power of your awareness and not by memory. So the yogi mind is perfectly, it functions independent of memory. Because that person did that in the past, I will judge him accordingly. This is the stupid mind. Because that person, somebody told me that person is like this, I will label him like this. This is the stupid mind. Yes, am I right? The yogi will see the person as he is, because he sees it with the light of awareness, not with the lens of memory, not through the lens of memory. Don't be stupid. This is what the Upanishad is telling you. Understand everything through awareness, not through somebody's version or somebody's memory or your own memory. It's unreliable. So the yogi is independent. The real sage stands independent of everything and will have his own understanding because he sees through awareness, not through memory. When you have this kind of an intelligence, your buddhi will sparkle. It will stand apart from everybody else. And you are the natural leader. And when you have only memory, memory is somebody's memory borrowed. Do you know that? Yes. Then you are a real, in data science they use these principles, The more data you have to support something, the more that thing is going to work. But intuition doesn't work like that. Intuition is a flash of insight beyond memory. It doesn't take the aid of memory. So to be able to develop this, you must be deeply aware from within. If you deepen conscious experience, you will come to the understanding of pure consciousness. That is why that is the way. And not getting by heart a whole lot of scriptures or trying to understand through Google everything. Memory is an aid to understanding the world of objects. Memory is not an aid to self-knowledge. That's why you must empty mind and become more and more aware. And that is the instrument of knowledge. Intuition is the way. And not collecting facts. Even in normal intelligence, when the intelligence to do very well in an exam, the intelligence to crack your high-level exams, all this will come by the power of intuition, by deep conscious awareness generated within yourself. Your mind will stand still, at that particular moment and show you the way to the answer. But just getting something by heart, and you can't do it with huge data systems, you can't do that at all. So you must learn to generate this level of intelligence. Today's understanding of intelligence is very limited. There are 8 types of intelligence identified. But even in those forms of intelligence, if you excel in any one, it is due to the presence of a larger piece of awareness in your system. The more the awareness, the more intelligent you will become from within. And don't take the aid of memory every time. Even in objective knowledge dysfunctions, what to speak of self-knowledge. So you see, when this Bhrigu is coming and saying, I am my intelligence, then I am the intellect, then the father again tells him, my son, you go back to your tapasya. Because intelligence, the intellect, buddhi, is still not you. There is some deeper dimension of you which correlates with your eye sense, and that is not the intellect. If you allow the light of that dimension to stream into your intelligence will sparkle. But still it's an instrument in your hands. You are not that. So all the pride which we have in our intelligence, it's baseless. Real intelligence means no pride. Real intelligence means the really intelligent will never become proud, because they know it's baseless. And the fake intelligence means full of pride. I have double PhD. I'm professor of IIT or Princeton. This is all fake. It means nothing to your inner being. See, I know some people who are really like this, They are at the top in their field, but totally bereft of ego. What is the sign of a egoless mind?
Childlikeness.
Childlike, it will never judge. Those who are constantly judging and labeling others have a huge ego. It stays hidden from their conscious mind. I told you, the yogi mind sees things afresh, not by the aid of memory. So its judgments are totally different. When you take the aid of memory, you are already messed up within yourself. You can't see things as they are. That's why you are taking the aid of memory. So this way of seeing makes you independent, Sri Ramakrishna could see something in Naren which nobody else saw. Do you know the beautiful story of the relationship between Narendranath and Sri Ramakrishna? Narendranath was so independent by nature, the future Swami Vivekananda, that people misunderstood him also. And he was so independent and so intelligent and so capable of grasping anything just like that, that he had a very rebellious and independent outlook to everything. So people misunderstood him. Once he went into, that time Sharat Maharaj and Shashi Maharaj, they were all youngsters. So went to their home, and the way he behaved, even they misunderstood him. They thought that, he's just a careless youth. But when they came to Sri Ramakrishna, these two, Sharat and Shashi, Sri Ramakrishna is talking so highly of Narendranath. You don't know who he is. He's just associate with him. He is the highest in being on this earth, and he is capable of all this. And if you associate with him, you will become godly. He's speaking in these terms. Then these two thought, how is it that we didn't understand him? How did Sri Ramakrishna know about Naren? What power is that? He used to say, he is Narayana on earth. That person whom everybody is thinking he is just a careless youth, doesn't bother about anything, and too independent. But Sri Ramakrishna saw who he was.
The intuition.
This capacity comes only with spiritual growth. Otherwise, you are seeing through the lens of memory. Please see. And it will be wrong. Memory is nothing but data collection. You are drawing conclusions through the data you have collected by somebody's memory, by somebody's mind. No original insight. You will muddle up things. So a yogi sees things afresh, not through the lens of memory. When you learn to see like that, you see life as it is. So you will no more be stupid. So now time is up. The most important part of this we'll go into this day after tomorrow. Yeah. Because, most people come to a full stop here. They think intellect is all that there is. They don't go beyond that. Oh, you may not be there, but I can't help it. Because what to do? See, these things have to be understood with sufficient contemplation. Most of us think we are mind and intelligence, buddhi. We don't know anything beyond that. Check this out and see. Our life revolves around this much, these aspects of our personality. But when he goes to the next level, see, there's a level intermediate between your intelligence and the Atman. There is a level between that. It is the Anandamay Kosh. All these koshas, are you understanding? See, Annamay Kosh, then Pranmay Kosh, then Manomay Kosh, the mind, then Vijnanamay Kosh, the intellect. There is another one, Anandamay Kosh. It is intermediate between this level of intelligence and the intellect and the Atman. So we will study this kosha and this Atmajnana in the next class. But I want you to understand, most of us are limiting our personality to buddhi. We are like that. We don't see beyond that. So you are functioning in these dimensions of your personality, and this is actually penetrating into the core of your personality structure. But you must do it through tapasa brahma vijignyasasva, through tapasya. So if you are not prepared to contemplate on these things, you will not get it. That's why no point reading and going like this.
Each point has to be
Contemplated upon. You must feel the truth of what he is saying. Then only you will come to the beyond Vijnanamay Kosh, what is there. Beyond the intellect, what is there. You must feel the reality of it. And beyond that, what is there.
Mataji, in Drigdrishya Viveka also they go through this gradual process.
See, this is Drigdrishya Vivek.
Yes.
I can see the body, so I am not the body. I can see the mind, so I am not the mind.
But why is Drigdrishya Viveka called the Prakarana Grantha?
No.
Why it is not?
Drigdrishya Vivek as the book is called the Prakarana Grantha because it is something which is composed by Shankaracharya.
Yes.
It's auxiliary to the knowledge of the Vedanta,
Yes.
isn't it? It is an important auxiliary scripture. It will help you understand Vedanta. So all these Prakarana Granthas are like that. Before you come to the Upanishads, at one time it was mandatory that you go through the Prakarana Granthas.
Yes.
They are aids. So Drigdrishya, see, if you know Drigdrishya Vivek, you will immediately understand this Panchakosha Vichara process.
But then even Tattva Bodh,
Tattva Bodh, Atma Bodh, so many are there. Your Vivek Chudamani, all this they are all Prakarana Granthas. All were composed by Shankaracharya to help you understand the Upanishads.
So it directly starts with that eyes and lochana.
It directly is giving you the research methodology. See, this is the way you should think to come to this knowledge. Nobody is
very
teaching.
obvious method. Like
Very obvious it is. It is so true, you see. Logical methods of inquiry. Shankaracharya has given us all the logical aids. See, this is called Vedanta Vichar. You understand? Logically going step by step into the understanding of the self. You must learn to think in this wise. See, if this becomes part of educational curriculum, along with the external sciences, you also have a science of consciousness. It should be part and parcel of education, isn't it? Tell me. It should not be an optional subject. It should be part and parcel of every course actually. So in your own way, as teachers, see if you can put this into young minds. It will be a big thing, for our society. Vedanta, you must remember, it is the science of consciousness, so it is the science behind all philosophies. Nobody can lay exclusive claim to it. It is the science of our consciousness. Okay? So, in whatever measure you can, exchange this knowledge. Give this knowledge freely, not exchange. Give it freely, wherever you can. We'll end the class here. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.